Hear those birds singing? It's a good sound this morning. It's going to be a beautiful day out. I'm just going to do a quick garden tour with you this morning. Nothing too long, but just to kind of show the progress of the garden. And no, it is not perfect. I have not weeded most of it, but that's okay. That's life. So I have here 6 rows of corn. This is Incredible, is the variety. This first row I planted about a week after my other row, so it is a little bit shorter, but it is all coming along really well. And my corn has not been weeded at all. But even with not having weeded it in the middle of June already, there really isn't a whole lot of weeds compared to what I used to deal with. I have started using this black woven fabric, and it has saved so much time with weeding. So we have 6 rows. Last year we added another row this year, and we honestly could use more rows. So we'll see, maybe in the future we'll expand the garden out just a little further, but we will see. This is my tomato row. My tomatoes did get a late start this year, and I had just planted them into the ground here Friday night. I did some, and then I just did a few this morning. I prefer to plant them at night so they have kind of a good time to get established before the heat of the day, but it wasn't working in my plans for that. So now this row I did weed, and you'll see my weed pile there that I still need to take care of. And then I have some peas. I am trying a new trellis system this year just to see kind of how it goes. My peas are loaded. I plant the dark seeded Early Perfection is the variety from Burpee, and love how those turn out. I have, if you look here, I've got a lot of peas coming on there. So in the next little bit here, I will be picking some of these. You can see some of these are starting to fill out. So excited about that. And then I have some onions. These are a different variety than I normally plant, just because I could not get the sets of the ones I normally do. So these are just a white onion. They will not keep as long, but I will just go ahead and chop them up and use them right away in salsas and stuff like that. I have a few dill plants that have volunteered to come up for me. There's another one. But I have onions here. And then I had planted some cabbage and some lettuce down through here, and a little bit of broccoli. Some of my cabbage have died off. The lettuce looks beautiful. And then I just, this morning, planted some new tomato plants in here. So we'll see how they take off. But some lettuce. Here's a couple plants of broccoli that survived. And then here is some of my cabbage. And a lot of the cabbage is a late Dutch variety. These ones up here have taken off pretty good. So this next row is all tomatoes. I have actually planted a lot of tomato plants this year, more than normal. But we use them for salsa, for sauces, diced tomatoes, a lot of different things. So spaghetti sauces, different things like that. So I have plenty for our needs, and then probably we'll have some to sell as well. And then I have a row of shelling beans. And I think this was a new variety. I'll have to link it down below. So I've just got just a short amount of those. Little empty space here where they didn't come up so well. Something has been eating my bean plants this year. And it's only kind of spotty. These are Nicky beans for canning. And you can see at the bottom of the row here, they have grown really well. And then in the middle of the row, something ate all those plants, and then I've got some at the top again. So I've replanted some of them. Hopefully I get some to come up without them getting eaten as well. Help fill in my rows a little bit here. But I've got 4 rows of those. And again, these have not been weeded yet. But that's okay. And then I have a row with cucumbers. These ones down here at the bottom are straight 8 for eating. And then kind of in that same area that the green beans didn't grow, I have kind of some blank areas here with my cucumbers as well. So I don't know if something came through and was eating those as well. But these up here are all pickling cucumbers. So I've got quite a few pickling cucumbers. My goal is to make some cinnamon pickles this year. I think some people call them like a cinnamon Christmas pickle or something like that. But make some more of those. My dad informed me that he is running out of them. And we'll do up some pickles, do up some relish, different things. In here I've got some more different of the pole beans. This trellis is a pole bean. And then I've got one trellis here that is a squash. And without looking at my paper, I can't remember what I planted where as for a squash. This is a winter squash variety. This year I planted butternut, buttercup, spaghetti squash, and there was one other, and I cannot remember. A sweet dumpling, I believe is what it was called. So I can't remember without looking at my paper what I planted where, but that's the idea there. I planted zucchini, and I see I had to replant because they were not growing. I see that I have a plant starting to come up here. I think that's my only plant out of my 5 areas that I grow them. I think I only have that one plant coming up. And then I've got a couple summer squash here. These are black beans, and then I also have kidney beans growing. And then I've got some other different kind of shell beans along through here. And I'll list in the description what all the different kinds of, what the different plants are that I've planted here. On this trellis system, it's just an old chicken tractor that I used to pull around the yard for the chickens. Took the building off of it and use it now in my garden for growing. And I've got some winter squash. Again, those same varieties. I just don't remember what was what. So that's the main part of this garden. Oh, we have a friendly snake out sunning himself this morning. And then we've got our grapes are coming on pretty good here. We'll see how they do this year. My rhubarb needs trimmed back and taken care of. Harvest some of the stalks off of that. But the grapes are starting to look really good. There's my dog. Hey, Abby. That's probably why the snake is out moving. She's getting them all riled up. Okay. So I have 3 rows of grapes here. 2 are the Concord. Another one is maybe a blue grape. The other one doesn't grow the greatest because the beetles eat it a lot. My terribly overgrown raspberry patch needs a lot of help. I've got a lot of grass that needs pulled out of there, and then I have my second row of raspberries, starting to get a lot of raspberries. Then we've got some blueberry bushes, and you can see the blueberries are starting to develop nicely. I have one set here that I need to support up off of the ground because they are so loaded. So, nice breeze this morning. But we've got 5 bushes here in this row. I do have 5 bushes here in this row, but my new one, not looking so healthy. Bought a couple at Tractor Supply and wish I would have just saved my money and bought a couple more at the nursery that I found later on. But there's my other ones. These are the 2 that I bought at the nursery this year, and they look really nice. They even have a few blueberries on them. And then I have my pot of mint, and then our strawberry patch, which is doing really well. I have this section of strawberries. It's about a 20-foot row, and then I've got 2. Grab me a snack here. It's tasty. What do you think, Abby? Looks like I've got some strawberries that are ready to get picked now. Got some nice looking ones there. But here's my strawberry patch. Oops, Here's my strawberry patches. I've got this row, and it's about, I think, about a 5-foot wide box by about 20 foot long. And then I have, those ones are the June bearing ones. And then I have this box. It's about a 4-foot wide box. And it's again about the same, 20 foot long. And it's kind of sparse in some of it. But my strawberry patches have done amazing this year. I have had over 70 quarts of berries off of these 2 patches so far. And I still have a lot more. One of the things that I think really helped is I spray a compost tea with some sea minerals on it. And I did that a lot last year. I did that a lot last year, and I think it really helped to build up the soil and create a great harvest for this year. So they are winding down, but there are still some nice berries in there. And then we're walking over here to the other side of the property, over by the chicken run area. And I've got some grow boxes over here. These are some potato plants that just came up from last year. I didn't really plant them or desire them to be in this box, but I let them go. And then I'm gonna plant some tomatoes in there later. I have tried to plant carrots this year, having a hard time with it. But I do see there are a bunch of little carrots, and then I see where There's a whole pile of little carrots that got washed down. We had a really hard rain, and it, I think, washed a bunch of my seeds down. But I do see a lot of little plants starting, so that's a good thing. I have some carrots that were from last year, and these carrots I'm just gonna let go to seed and collect some seed. This will be my first time doing that, so I do have a few carrots in there. I've got some cabbage in there, and then I've got some beets growing here, and then I've got new beets seeds. I try to plant in succession, so that way I always have a nice crop of beets. We prefer to eat them fresh rather than just can them. So trying that. Planted some Swiss chard this year. First time planting Swiss chard. I ate some the other day just raw, and it tastes kind of like a beet green almost, with just the stem of it. So my cilantro has gone wild. It's pretty much just gone to seed now. But there's cilantro in this patch. And then I also have some garlic that's kind of getting taken over. I'm going to have to trim back the cilantro, but there's some garlic in there that I planted last fall. Over on this side, we've got some celery growing, and then in this area there is asparagus, but it's still quite young. I planted it last spring. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to really just waste the space. I'm going to go ahead and plant in my pepper plants around in there. I do have some kohlrabies that are coming up through here. So I'm just going to go ahead and plant in those pepper plants and save that space. And then I do have a trellis here that some beans will be growing up here shortly too, is my goal. Good morning, chickens. They have pretty much killed off that run. Gonna have to move them over into this grass area. Alright, and then we just laid out some wood chips on our pathway this weekend, so it looks very nice. And then I've just got this stretch here is all just potatoes. We've got some red potatoes. Just see one poking through right here. Let's see that there. So we're going to try to cover him up a little bit. That's a good thing to see though. I think most of them are red potatoes, but there is some white potatoes as well. I love planting my potatoes, my carrots, my beets, anything that's like underground in these grow boxes, because it just really is a lot easier to dig up come harvest time. So that is my little garden tour for right now, and I'll try to kind of give you an update each week. I am hoping tonight to be able to spray it with some compost tea. I have yet to spray it this year. Usually I've sprayed it a couple times in May, and then already probably a couple times in June, and I just am falling behind this year, not getting it accomplished what I need to do, but gotta kick my game up and get it done. So that'll really help it to take off. Thanks for coming along with me on my tour, and we will see you next time. As always, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and you'll get some more great gardening videos, as well as some gardening tips, and just some of my advice that I have, and help you out as a beginner gardener, or even you might find something out if you're more an advanced gardener too. It's always good to learn things from each other. All right, thank you and have a great day.